Those of us who fear and who trust in God will never lack any good thing. And on that note, you are welcome to today's episode of our personal development class. It's so good to have you here again. My name is Dr. Rosemond Osei-Kranting, and we are continuing with the review of The Leader Who Had No Title by Robin Sharma. The last time we started off with the 10 human regrets. We did the first 5, and today we are going to continue with the last 5. Human regret number 6. Are you ready? You reach your last day and feel heartbroken that you never learned the skill of transforming adversity into victory and led into gold. You never learned that skill of transforming adversity into victory and led into gold. And the last part of the passage is from the previous book review, The Alchemist. You know, in alchemy, they have the skill where when you get to the zenith of that profession, you are able to transform the metal lead into gold. It's proverbial. Symbolically, what it means is that we are able to turn the painful experiences of our life into wisdom, into strength, into opportunity, into victory, into something good. Normally, we would say that when life gives you lemons, you should make what? Lemonade. So this is another way of saying it. The bad, difficult, painful, awful, stinking parts of your life. One of the skills we all need to acquire in life is to turn those things over into our benefits. You don't want to get to the end of your life and realize that all the difficult places in your life that came, you did not use that opportunity to turn victory, to turn adversity, to turn failure into something that works in your favor. Life would invariably, doesn't matter who you are, where you are born from, who you are married to, the school you went, it does not matter. We were born to face adversity, and at every time in your life, one form of adversity or the other is going to arise. And if you don't learn that skill now, at the end of your life, in the embers of your life, you are going to regret it. This is a skill, a must-have skill. You will face loss, you will face betrayal, you will face hardship, you will face failures, you will face disappointment. It does not matter how good you are. People will betray you, losses will visit you, death will come, people will rob you. But how do you turn those painful moments in your life into your advantage? And there are two kinds of people in this world. There are people who grow stronger with the storm and with adversity. And there are those who are broken down. You got to choose which of these groups you belong to. I have chosen mine. I have decided that nothing that hits me is going to knock me. Even if it does knock me down, I would never stay down. You got to choose a side and stick to it. The difference between these two groups of people is our ability to learn from the pain and transform that pain into growth. The pain visits all of us, but what sets one person apart from the other is your ability to learn from that pain, be comfortable enough with the pain you are going through, to look through it like the way we look through beans and separate stones. Sit with the pain, dissect the matter, and pick the lessons you need to learn out of it. And then after you have picked these lessons, transform the lessons into growth. Let us see a measurable advancement in your life because of the circumstances that arose. And Joseph, they have a soft spot for Joseph. I mean the Joseph in the Bible, not the Joseph the cat. Joseph is probably my favorite character in the Bible, and he illustrates this so beautifully. Of course, the Lord was with Joseph, and he is with all of us. But look at how Joseph turned betrayal, slavery, and false accusation, eventually imprisonment. And he went through all of this, and at every junction, he managed to make something good out of the adversity, until he became that person that not only saved Egypt, but the whole world, and in essence, his own family that betrayed him. And he said, "You meant it for evil, but the Lord meant it for good." Don't get to the end of your life and regret that you did not learn this all-important skill of turning adversity into victory, of turning lead into gold, and of using the lemons that life has thrown at you to make lemonade. Regret number 7. You reach your last day regretting that you forgot that work is about being radically helpful to others rather than being helpful to yourself. And this quote is criticizing a very selfish view that we all have about work. When we think about work, we are thinking about something that we do to get money, to take care of ourselves, the people we love, to do the things we enjoy, something that gives us status, a money per boo, it gives you clout, it helps you to advance yourself, it gives you the privilege probably to travel, to enjoy some accolades or some benefit. But the truest and deepest meaning of work, our life work, whatever it is service to another human being. And any kind of great work has a common denominator. It improves the lives of other people. Any kind of great work, it aims to improve the lives of other people. So whatever kind of work you are doing, doctors will heal, teachers teach, builders will build houses for you, leaders guide communities. Whatever you are doing, it must be some form of service to humankind that make another person's life better. And that is your salary and whatever you get out of your work. It's only a fringe benefit. The core thing is using what you are doing as work to improve the life of somebody else or other people. And when you forget this and you focus on working because of what you are going to get, the end of your life and you be faced with this seventh regret. Jesus said that whoever wants to be greatest among you should be a servant. Work is not merely an economic event, but it is a form of service to humanity. Regret number 8. You reach your last day with the awareness that you ended up living the life that society trained you to want versus leading the life you truly wanted to have. Society is good, but in a lot of ways, society is a monster. And society would often pressurize you to pursue certain goals or certain agenda. Society would always push you to look for wealth, to look for property, prestige, clout, societal approval, security. And sometimes, to a large extent, these expectations or pressures on us are good. They are from people who mean well, our parents, our siblings, our spouses, our colleagues at work, the kind of societies we have lived in. Sometimes even professional societies, okay, people expect that, okay, you're a doctor, when you finish med school, you have to go and specialize, and then what specializing in, you come back and come and teach and train. There are always expectations at every junction of your life. Even in church, people expect that you do things a certain way. Me, I've had somebody walk into my house and sit me down and school me about not talking about the dirty part of my life. The fact that I have faced the divorce and this is what I went through. Somebody has told me I shouldn't have written a book about moving from being a kinky seller to becoming a doctor. People have expectations. And they would push it on you, not because they are bad, but because society they have some status quo that they expect you to follow. But society's expectations of us sometimes do not tally with our true calling or purpose in life. And you need to be able to decipher between those two. Otherwise, society will push you into a current you were never meant to carry along with you. And you get to the end of your life and realize that, like Calibos would say, you get to the end of your life and realize that the life you truly wanted to have, you never lived it. Because you listened to your parents, because you listened to what society would say, and you try to conform to society. When I was going to get divorced, for example, my one brother said that I can't imagine me being the brother of a divorcee. How? And I loved my brother so much, and I cared about my brother's feelings. So can you imagine if I had listened to that voice that wanted to make my brother feel good, that wanted to shrink to his expectations of me, and stayed in an abusive marriage that would otherwise have stifled the giant inside of me. That amazing woman that I am becoming would never have been birthed if I had stayed in that life. It's a great tragedy when we live our lives chasing society's approval. And we all need to come to that point where we live life on our terms. Decide what you want your life to be and stick to it. You need to remain true to who you are and what you have been called to. I'm learning every day to make intentional choices, to make choices that align with my inner convictions and the life I want for myself versus the life that other people want for me. Try it. It would save you regret in the embers of your life. Regret number 9. You reach your last day and awaken to the fact that you never realized your absolute best, nor touched that special genius that you were built to become. Every one of us has one or two or a set of unique characteristics, gifts, talents. For some people, it is intellectual abilities. For some people, it is oratory skills. For some people, it is a confidence to even stand in front of people and speak there. There are people who have amazing things going on in their head, but even the ability to articulate their thoughts, the confidence to say what they believe in, is lost on them. Leadership potential, compassion is a gift. And you'll be about you. Spiritual intuition or insight. All these are unique gifts that different people have. Everybody. And if you are listening to me and you have not been able to find out the things that are unique about you, the talents and gifts that God gave you on your way here to earth, please, this one day I'm on my knees begging you, make the effort to dig into yourself and ask God and ask your friends, find it and develop it, because whatever God gives you, you have to work with it and multiply. Just like the parable of the talent, God will give you 2 or 3. He expects that you will work with it and develop it. He would always give you the barest minimum, the raw form. And we don't get to our absolute best in life because we want to avoid effort. We are lazy. We are complacent. We fear failure. We fear rule. So you never get to start. What are you afraid of? Sometimes we lack discipline because every great thing demands some discipline. You may have to practice. You may have to save up money for it. You may have to give up pleasure or sin in order to cultivate that gift or talent. You like easy life. And the biggest one of all is where we settle for mediocrity. We settle for less because we think and I have met people who, when I was in school, people used to laugh at me a lot. They'll be like, hey, was it dear? We are saying now, what face and I'll come by and I say, baby, I need her sister too. Mediocrity is one of your biggest enemies. Why settle for mediocre when you can be amazing, outstanding, excellent? Don't shoot yourself in the foot. The last human regret. You reach your last day and discover you could have been a leader and left this world so much better than you found it. But you refuse to accept that mission because you were too scared and you failed and you wasted a life. Every one of us is a leader. Every one of us. And this leadership we are talking about is the central theme for this book. The leader who had no title. You need no title to be a leader. In your family, in your workplace, in your school, in every society, wherever there is more, even with just you alone, there is self-leadership. And many of us have the ability to influence the world and change the world. But we hesitate because we fear. Fear keeps running through this human regret. I pray to God that anybody listening to me, and even for me, any form of fear in our lives, that God himself will give us the ability and the grace to overcome fear, so that we don't miss on the great things that he has in store for because of fear. We fear that people are going to criticize us. We fear that we are going to fail. We fear that irresponsibility is soon. Or we fear that people will reject us and we withdraw from the opportunities to lead because of these reasons. The tragedy is not our ability to lead, but in our lack of courage to pick up that leadership. And even in Bible, there are a lot of people, when God came to them and trusted leadership to them, they gave excuses. Moses said, me say, Gideon say, we say. But the moment you choose to overcome fear and accept the responsibility, that is where your life begins to change. And these 10 regrets put together, they describe a life unrealized potential that turns into pain. Remember, we have learned earlier that every kind of unrealized potential will turn to pain. Invariably, by the time you end your life, that potential that you never realized will turn to pain. And the things that would keep you from realizing your potential are fear, complacency, laziness, lack of courage, and mediocrity. The list goes on and on. And so pray and fight these things with all that you have got in you. And I need you to embrace purpose, courage, discipline, hard work, responsibility, and commitment to growth. You will not come to the end of your life and be filled with these regrets, because you would learn to go through adversity. You would learn to serve others. You would learn to pursue your true purpose. You would learn to develop the skills and talent God has given to you. And you would learn how to lead with courage. And on that note, we wrap up for today. Next week, I'll bring you some more goodies from the book. God bless you.